You don't become a wrestler by fluke. Well, unless you're Kurt Angle and seemingly have some weird power where you just morph into a pro wrestler on a whim. The dude started training on a Monday and he had his first match on a Friday. That's nuts. And a bit like a Craig David song. While there are the expected names we all associate with the training aspect of the business, there are a few that are genuinely quite surprising, especially when you take a look at where both trainer and trainee now are. Sometimes it doesn't even make sense. But that's the beauty of life. I'm Simon from What Culture, and this is 10 wrestlers taught by surprising trainers. Number 10, Becky Lynch. Even though he's arguably only now in his wrestling prime, Finn Balor still somehow found the time to teach SmackDown's Becky Lynch to grapple. It's kind of crazy, all things considered. As you can probably imagine, the two go way back, and at only 5 years apart in age, Finn got his foot in the door first in terms of the Irish wrestling scene before deciding to give something back very early on, also trained Becky Lynch. She was only 15 years old at the time, and Balor had become so good at what he did, he was running a wrestling school. Although saying that, even Finn admits this wasn't the smartest idea, but it couldn't have gone that badly. They're now both WWE superstars. It worked out very well. Number 9, Ty Dillinger. The Perfect 10 has been in and out of various WWE developmental systems for years. It's only been recently where he's finally gained enough momentum to make it to the main roster. Well, kinda. Keeps vanishing for some reason, but still, he is officially on SmackDown. Amazingly, however, the people that instilled the knowledge within his bones were current NXT and former TNA superstar Eric Young and another former TNA star Cody Deaner. That's not a bad couple of people to get advice from, and it's kind of nice that Young could be on SmackDown too at some point, and who knows, maybe they go at it again like they did in NXT. Wouldn't that be cool? Number 8, Rusev. The most underrated performer in the history of pro wrestling, Rusev's trainers, somehow, were Gangrel and Rikishi. If that isn't the oddest pairing ever, I don't know what is. It does kind of make sense though. Rusev moves far faster than a man of his size should, which was the case for Rikishi as well. Given his bulk, there's no way he should have been able to do that thing where he flipped himself around after a clothesline, but the man did that all the time, even when he was exposing his ass. As for Gangrel, well, I have no idea. But hell, we can't criticize it. This tandem clearly did a great job because Rusev has made it to the big time. His potential is still utterly untapped too. So there's every chance that Samoan and Vampire were responsible for a future world champ. Number 7, Cedric Alexander. Just because you don't shine on TV or get the opportunity to do so, doesn't mean you're a bad wrestler, and that's why eternal NWA jobber George South was behind the rise of now 205 Live superstar Cedric Alexander. The thing is, while South never won, he made losing look great, and that was his skill. He was never even given a shake of the stick in terms of an opportunity, but he had a career in the sport and now makes a living manufacturing the stars of tomorrow. And I bet Cedric is pleased that he did, because without him, maybe he wouldn't be where he is today. Number 6, Kevin Owens. By and large, Kevin Owens is considered one of the best all-round pro wrestlers there is at the moment. He can work, he can talk, he just gets it, and we all love him for it. Given he's from Canada too, maybe it's not that shocking his skills were bestowed upon him thanks to Jacques Rougeau and Pierre Ouellet. Not how you pronounce that, who are better known as the tag team of the Quebecers. Something must have gone right because look at the situation. But even Owens admits the relationship wasn't the best, with Rougeau especially constantly trying to strong-arm him when it came to finances. Luckily, Kevin was smart enough to see what was going on even at a young age, and now he is without doubt the winner. Man's on top of the world. Number 5, Heath Slater. Heath Slater has been in the WWE for so long now, it almost seems silly to call him a jobber at this point. He's had his ups and his downs, sure, but that kind of longevity is amazing. Slater must have something to him, or pictures of Vince McMahon that Vince doesn't want the world to see. That's why it's well weird that he learned under the tutelage of Mr. Hughes, and yes, I do mean that Mr. Hughes of wrestling bodyguarding fame who was obsessed with wearing sunglasses. Given we barely ever saw him wrestle, that is very odd, but clearly we were never told the whole story when it came to good old Curtis. Either that, or this was one big accident. Number 4, Simon Gotch. As we know, Simon Gotch's WWE run was mostly taking a look back to the wrestling of old and portraying that in the modern day. While this was no doubt an internal idea, it does tie into Gotch's training as Harley Race was responsible for it. You don't get much more old school or legendary as Harley Race. Even better than that, Daniel Bryan had a part in polishing him up too, meaning Gotch has literally learned from two of the best ever. With that in mind, you think WWE maybe should have thought twice before releasing him. Clearly not. Number 3, Ember Moon. Ember Moon is a very exciting prospect. Fast, athletic, believable, and a cool finish. The world is her oyster at this point. She's repping it up in NXT, and you would think that in a few years, she'll be a big deal on the main roster. That's why it's incredible that she was trained by Skandor Akbar, a man who wrestled from 1963 to 1977, and is the quintessential veteran, who you would assume wouldn't instill any of the mentioned traits in his students. Clearly has a great handle on what the modern day product wants though, as Ember did come from his school. Number 2, 2, Jack Gallagher. An all-round talent of wonderful proportions, Jack Gallagher is a joy to watch as he backs up genuine in-ring skill with utter pro wrestling nonsense that makes you smile on the inside. Should never get that excited about an umbrella. This all started at the Snake Pit in Wigan, where renowned catch wrestler Billy Robinson took Jack under his wing. That kind of explains why when Gallagher does decide to fire up, it looks so brutal, a trait that Robinson himself was known for. You would imagine these sessions were pretty full on, but once again it worked. Jack made it all the way from the UK to the WWE. It really is wonderful. Number 1, Sami Zayn. Savio Vega and the Wall are the reason we have Sami Zayn today, and that's nuts to say the least. It's well known that Vega himself was vastly underrated given how he held himself in the ring, and one Stone Cold Steve Austin says that constantly. And while the Wall is just a blip in wrestling history, his talent must be in passing his knowledge on to others. And who cares how strange it all is, because once more, it worked. Sami Zayn may not be having the most ideal run on the WWE roster, but he's there. And there was a time he definitely wouldn't have been. Furthermore, he's really, really good. So cheers, Savio, and cheers, the Wall.
Oh, wasn't that something? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe below, and also the people who made this lovely video, they're appearing right here. But if you're thinking to yourself, I want to see more content, Jules, then why not look above my head, as there probably is some. I don't know. I can't see it. Until next time.